surrender, God. I surrender, God. I surrender. I surrender all. What happened last week? What was that all about? Lots of calls. A bosun. Was it Bosun or Bowen? Bowen and a bosun called me and contacted me. People contacted me. What happened? What happened? I want to tell you what happened, and I'm going to tell you what happened when everything went insane last week. And yeah, so we got a lot to talk about, and I'm feeling scattered because I have so much I want to talk about. I think this is going to be a very special episode of Man Cow Monday Night Live. Chicken face. All right. Look, bidden or not bidden, God is present. It doesn't matter if you believe. I am not an evangelist. I care. I don't want you to go to hell. But I love these people. I don't care. I don't believe it. I remember I showed the Joel tube, and we're going to talk about the shooting that happened at Joel Osteen's church. If you don't know about it, we're going to talk about that. But I have never felt more hatred. This is unbelievable, folks. This is unbelievable. There was a little black child that was killed by a pit bull, and I said they ought to kill the pit bull. And somebody called up and said, "Man, Cal, people care more about pit bulls in Chicago than they do little black babies." And I went, "You're full of you don't know what you're talking about." And they weren't right. People were very upset that I would want the pit bull that killed a kid put down. Well, that kid was probably teasing the dog, Man, Cal. Then there was the time I wheeled a very fat woman through Disney in Florida, but I had a 2-day pass. The handy-crippled pass, the handy-capable pass. So I used it the second day, and I thought it was pretty great. And, man, did my audience hate me. You used a handy, you got it in front of the line, you jerk. But the number one thing I did of all the craziness, I had this Joel cube. Hey, it's sitting on the counter. Would you go grab that? It's sitting right in there. You'll see it. I got one in a box. I buy them for people to give them away. I want to show you real quick. Anyway, it's a cube. You push your button and it gives a biblical quote. Very nice. And the hatred I got, the most hatred I've ever gotten. Okay? This is it. It's a Joel cube. Joel Osteen cube. You push the button and it says, "Jesus loves you" or something. Oh, and these are the days we're dealing in. And so, believe it or not, as Ripley used to say, believe it or not. Remember how great Jack Palance was? Believe it or not. So it doesn't matter if you believe. There's a reason people get upset. There's a reason that Islamic types and Scientologist types and everybody, what do they attack? What do they attack? They attack Christianity. Why? So Priest said, this is the exact quote, "You don't have to believe it. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't mean it's not real. Godzilla is fake, and they don't attack Godzilla." Why is that the name that's blasphemed? When you stub your toe, why don't you say Muhammad? So anyway, we got a lot to talk about. The number one thing left at our border now, to the tens and hundreds of thousands, is Muslim prayer rugs. Why is that? And why are so many Chinese nationals coming now? And my friends in the underworld are telling me they're setting up with knowledge, and they've sold out. We've been sold out. Fentanyl and drug factories all over America. They hate you. They hate you. Look at me. They hate Christians. They hate patriots. Patriots, I've been told, is a racist word. You remember that story? Bob Lazar, a UFO guy, was on my show, and he said, these space aliens call us containers. Our government talks to them. They call us containers. And they, Bob, what do you mean containers? The space aliens call us containers for souls. For souls. We are containers for souls. Let's put up our first slide, Ralph. Let's put up our first slide. And then I want to bring on Pastor Nathan if we can. There it is. Okay, yeah, which reminds me, this is not the appropriate time to say it, but ladies, you might want to am I still on, Ralph? Yeah, I am. Ladies, you might want to shave your Valentine. All right, that's it. Get that out of there. Get that out of there. That's wrong. That's not what I should be doing. That's not good stuff. Happily married people, sex is, there was a guy, no, get that down, not yet. There was a, what was his name? A guy in Dallas, Texas, a preacher who I interviewed. And when you would come in to get marriage counseling, he would say, okay, have sex for 1 week every day and come back. and it was almost 100%. And very controversial. Famous preacher. Have sex married people. Have sex every day and come back. And doggone it, if after a week it didn't work out, then they went into counseling. But most times it fixed itself. Now, you've seen the quarter-sized Neuralink that Elon Musk has now tried on a human being. And I've never been effusive in my love of Elon Musk. I've always been a little wary of it. Wary's the word, yeah. Been a little bit off on him a little bit. Others have praised him. I have often thought that, I don't know. I felt Ponzi scheme. I'm not saying that's what it is, but I like a lot of what Elon has said and done. Elon. I have a friend that works for him and loves him. But, we interviewed Ray Kurzweil, transhumanism, and he said, and I quote, "We will become living gods." So you have Neuralink put in, which looks like a quarter with 1,000 little hair wires that go all over your brain, and you'll be able to access anything on the internet. And then our knowledge will double, and it will get to a point where, as a collective, and we will have one hive mind, like the Borg in Star Trek, it will get to a point where our knowledge will double every day. And that's that. And Ray Kurzweil said, we'll be gods. And I tell you, I think it's evil. There it is. And I tell you, don't do it. But how tough will that be to not be connected to the hive, to not have all known knowledge in your head? And what will happen when some Manson-type character has all known knowledge? You may remember in my travels where I was, and I'm sworn to secrecy, but I met with royalty, a member of royalty, a country leader. And you might be able to figure it out based on the last couple of weeks' shows who I talked to. And he said, Americans are really, really, the world thinks you're really stupid. The Middle East, you don't know what to do, so you start dropping bombs. You don't know how to deal with them, so you bomb. So here we go again. Bomb, 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 Iran. And the rhinos and the dummy craps and the warmongers, man, they just love it. And we make money on body bags and bombs, and it is a disaster what we're doing. It is, we've really messed up the world real good with our policy in the Middle East. And the answer is drill in America and leave those maniacs to themselves. Let's show the next slide. You showed it already. That was me at the premiere of Ace Ventura. Was it Ace Ventura? No, what was it? Oh, Ford Fairlane. And there I am. God knows how old I was. 18, 19 years old with a big gulp. That's in Suicide Falls, Missouri. I don't know who the date was, but look at her glasses. Those were very hip. And there I was, still wearing the same glasses. That's me pre-facial hair. So there you go. This is my father-in-law. This is Frank. And tomorrow is his funeral. And I want to dedicate this program to him. And we picked up his ashes today. And what occurred to me? Cremation is my only chance of ever having a smoking hot body. Harry and Meghan. Hey, what about Harry and Meghan? Who gives a shit? Curb Your Enthusiasm. Okay, it's curbed. Have you seen the show lately? It's really horrible. Have you heard of this new phrase, a philanthropath? A philanthropath? This is a psychopath that acts like a philanthropist, but is really a James Bond level villain. A philanthropath. They act like they're here to help. The government, right? Here to help. But they're psychopaths. I give you Soros. I give you Clintons. I give you Obamas. I give you Pelosi's. I give you Gates. I give you Fauci. Philanthropaths. What do you think of that word? Do you like it? Huh? Last week, let me talk about what happened last week. So I went, wow. I've been doing this since 1984, back when that picture was taken. Before that picture was taken with me at the Ford Fairlane premiere. Never felt anything like it. Some of you that follow this program may remember that Jesse Ventura, I found out that they could remove things from your TV, from your recording devices. Jesse Ventura's show was it just disappeared. And I really think it's why they want us to get away from books, DVDs, all that stuff, cassettes even, because everything they don't like, boom, It's gone. Your history is gone. And Jesse Ventura, he did a show about prison camps. And many of my listeners had it DVR'd. I had it DVR'd, and poof, the government made it disappear. We didn't know they could do that. So last week, they did something I didn't know they could do. Was it them? I don't know. Could it have been us? It certainly could have been. Certainly could have been. But I felt a surge of electricity. I don't know if you could hear it. Shocked through my headphones. Never felt that before. Should headphones shock? I've been doing this since 1984. I mean, I've been out at carpet stores, guys. I've been out at car lots in Suicide Falls, Missouri. I never had my headphones shock my skull. And then the segment about me talking about Biden laundering money in Ukraine was excised. And then we came back on, and everything was fine. And the guest was really squirrely and really weird. And Peter Bowen and a guy named Bozen and Bowen are like, what was that all about? We got to know. I'm like, I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. Mancow, what did you think of the Super Bowl? Bread and Circus, Orwell, read it. I don't care. I don't care. It's propaganda for the masses. I don't need their demonic stuff. I don't need their programming. I don't need their commercials, which programming. They're programming you. Stupid fat asses. Here, eat more trash. Eat more food that your body can't process. They don't want to pay your Social Security. That's what all of this is about. They want your money in Ukraine where they can, here comes the shocks. They're going to punish me. They don't want you getting your Social Security. And so, and by the way, I found something out. I didn't realize the breadth and the amount of people that are seeing this. And I've never taken it seriously. I did it, and I did it, and I did it, and I did it. And I was done. And then this guy, Ralph, said, I just do it on Monday nights off fun. It'll give me something to do. I hate my wife. I don't want to be around her. Get me out of the house. No, I'm kidding. That's a lot of rock stars, though. Why are these old guys still touring? They want to get out of the house. So, okay, I'll do it. And as you know, we don't even do it every week, and I'm very lazy about it. And but why am I doing this? Oh, anyway, the numbers are huge across all the platforms. I mean, when you look at it combined, this guy Daniel Aragoni-san said, "Man, you've got a big reach. You're much bigger than you think." I'm like, a dozen people see it. Who cares? No, he's like, no, it's bigger than you think. But why am I here? And I'm a cursing Christian. I'm not. And I'm sorry. I try to have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, except to expose, and that's Ephesians 5:11. And I think we've done that. Do you know Hillary was Jeffrey Epstein's Valentine, and she left him hanging? Ah, yeah. Can we see the Valentine's gift again, Ralph? Can you put that? See, this is my weakness. This is my weakness. I do like beautiful women. I do. The Valentine, the shaved Valentine. Can we put that up? Huh? Can we? Ralph. Oh, he's asleep. Someone wake up, Ralph. Dewey, wake up, Ralph. Dewey, Ralph. Come up the girl again. This is what I'm dealing with. This is what I'm dealing with. What do you want for nothing? Rubber biscuit? All right. Go ahead.
I wasn't sleeping. I just had to find it for you. There you go.
That's funny, but that's not it. I wanted to see the girl.
Which girl you want to see?
The girl, the shaved. I said, shave your Valentine.
Oh, the shaved Valentine. All right, let me find it.
Yes, ladies, shave the Valentine. There you go. Okay. Now, as you know, and I filed legal papers, and I've had my lawyer Mark Roth write them. And no, there's fake man cows everywhere. It's by design. Instagram and Facebook do nothing about it. That's the real me. And if you write me there, and if it's interesting, if you send me something, I mute you forever. Hey, did you see Tucker? He talked to Putin. I got 100 of those. Mute. I don't need you sending me stuff. You know what I mean? No offense. If you write me, man cow, this is something interesting. But just send it to man cow and 10 other friends. Yeah, I saw Tucker, and it was really boring. And I love all the commie libs telling us Putin wants to destroy America. We don't need Putin to destroy America. We got the Democratic Party. Come on. Putin wants to destroy America. Guys, I won't pull up my Chloe Corrigan gift, my Madame Zuzu shirt to show you my tattoo that says first, free speech first. I believe in free speech, and I was fed this in college that, we have to be able to burn the American flag. It's free speech. We're a free society. We have to have a cross and a vat of urine. Free speech. Can't do that in a Muslim country. Free speech. And I don't like a cross and a vat of urine. I don't want someone touching Old Glory. And then a few days ago, they decided if you burn the LGBTQ flag, LMNOP, whatever it is, the flag, that's a hate crime. But Old Glory, screw it. A cross, blasphemy. Bastards. And I would fight with listeners. You should be able to burn a flag. I hate it. I should kick your ass. But we live in a free society, but we really don't, do we? We were fed a bunch of bullshit from these people. Yeah. The girl from Full House went to jail. William Macy's wife went to jail because they tried to, they fudged a little to get their kids in a better school. But yet, if you come over here and you're a Chinese fentanyl selling national, you're a trans supporting Palestinians supporting El Salvadorian illegal, you get free college. That's free. Oh, that's who shot up Joel Osteen's church. What is it, 18, 19 out of the last 20 have been on the left? On the left? Oh, we got to look at these Christians and these Catholics and these people that have legal guns. It's bullshit, and you know it. And they know it. It's all free for them. $9,000 a month worth of programs they're getting? And people say to me, we're going to talk to our guest about this. Well, let me get back to that. Let's I'm sorry, I'm getting the room's starting to spin. I hope you know that before you tune in. This is where the angels and the devils fight. And they're choosing up sides tonight. Me, I'm part man. I'm part monkey. I'm part mystery. And the angels and the devils are playing tug of war with my personality. But God will win. Pull the string. Pull the string. Come here, mommy. Oh, mommy. Oh, you gotta fight fire with fire. All right. Let's bring on Pastor Nathan. Can we bring him on? No, bring on Vince. Vince, how are you? Pastor, how are you? Pastor Nathan, how are you?
Good.
Man, I am blessed by the best. Very honored to have you two. Did I bore you with that opening segment?
No, man, you are always entertaining. Like I said, I've been watching you since Chris Farley back in the day. I've been watching you for years. You have always been one of my favorite people. You've always made me laugh my behind off.
Well, I'm sorry that you have no behind. We got Chris Farley. I if we find the Chris Farley pic, put it up. But I just think about my dear father-in-law, Nathan. You knew him. You've met him many times.
Great guy.
He passed away, and I think whatever. I can't say what it was because they'll pull me. But boy, the CDC is every week saying more and more stuff. There with Chris Farley, and he was a cokehead and he was a slob and he was very handsy with my girlfriend and he was a good friend of mine. But boy, I still get to talk about him. But my father, who was a $30,000 a year cabinet salesman, and my father-in-law Frank, both godly guys who paid their taxes and raised their kids and didn't fool around and weren't slobs and drug addicts. Frank banged out fenders at Lober Motors and came to America with $200, and now they have a house that's $1.5 million. Came with $200 from Italy. That's an American. Instead of sitting around and bitching, they went to work. So, listen, I wasn't going to go here, but I want to go here. Vince, what would do you want me to call you, Pastor Ellison? What's polite?
No. I'm not a pastor. Matter of fact, I've written a book called The Iron Triangle. They said the black preacher, the black politician, and the black civil rights worker is the enemy of the black community. So, yeah, I'm not one of those guys.
Well, let's talk about that. We got a real preacher on with Nathan Murray, and someone told me once that preachers, what was the guy's name? What was the big builder's name, Nathan? The big builder from Family Christian Center. I love the guy. What's his name?
Rich. I can't think of his last name.
It's not Rich Peller, is it?
Yeah, Rich Peller. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the guy, but he said, pastor is kind of a condescending name for someone. I call preachers pastors, or maybe it was preacher. Preachers too. Yeah.
He got
preacher is an insulting word. I grew up with preachers, man. But look, Vince, this is not where I was going to go, but I'm going to go there. Okay, so I'm hearing from a lot of my white friends. Let me just say, you don't know my connection with the black church. Nathan can tell you I have spent a lot of time in the black church, and I mean people I love, people that love me. And they will sit and tell me, Vince, and Brandon Johnson, for example, a black communist, he said what he was. My friend Paul Vallis, tried. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They basically have told me it doesn't matter. Their kids are dead. It doesn't matter. Their neighborhoods are filled with trash. They wouldn't vote for a white person. And these are people that love me, that I love, and they'll sit and look at me right now and say, yeah, they will pick the black candidate no matter what it means. This guy is horrible for you. He's a communist. Your neighborhood, your kids are dying. No, he's black. Comment, Vince.
Well, again, I was brought up in the black community. My father was a sharecropper. I was born on a cotton plantation. He brought us out just like your people through hard work and dedication through the insurance industry. I grew up down south around a bunch of Klans members and these racist white Democrats that live down south. So I know about the Democrat Party. Here's the thing. The reason why the black community is so enamored with the Democratic Party is because since slavery, the Democrats have known how to take most black preachers, most black politicians, and most black civil rights workers and use them as conduits between the black community and the Democrat Party and white liberals, period. So they give this group of people money and say, your job is to make sure that black people stay on the Democrat Party plantation and the conservative Republicans stay out. And it started in the civil rights movement, what started back in slavery, but it became a political tool during the civil rights movement. I've done this movie called, it's a great documentary, and it talks about it completely. Will you go to hell for me? It talks about how the Democratic Party has become so corrupt and so terrible that voting for this party can actually put your soul in jeopardy. It's a party that castrate little boys and want to call them little girls. Cut off the breast of little girls, want to call them little boys. Want to have abortion up to the 9th month. Fentanyl, sex trafficking, drug trafficking, taking away guns from people inside of war zones. This is who they are. But again, until we, you and me, Will Kyle, this is good you have me, man Kyle, this is why you have me on the show tonight. It's good that we can talk to the people and give them an explanation about this. Because if we don't talk to them and wake them up, they're going to stay there. And it's working because Joe Biden was getting about 90% of the black vote in 2000. He's down around 60% now. So good. What we've been doing has been working. And man, Cal, keep it going.
Well, I need a breath. No, look, what you said was wonderful. And I do tend to be a bit cynical. And I live in Chicago, which you have to understand is it is a plantation.
Yeah.
And the maniacs have taken over. And the very worst of humanity is being celebrated. And, I saw twice Michigan Avenue burn, mostly peaceful protesters as they're defecating and stealing. And the second time yelling at me because of my skin color. But I'm the white devil, and you can't say anything. So, no, Vince, the documentary is incredible. We are going to show a trailer, and look, we all have to get together. Forget skin color. We have to get together, or we're going to be living in really just a Chinese communist state, a satellite state of communist China. We have been sold out big time. And you're right about the Democrats. And I'm telling you, there hadn't been a Republican doing anything in Chicago for, 50, 100 years. And I'll be doggone if every time something goes wrong, You know, Brandon Johnson, he's a black guy, communist, and well, Republicans. What are you talking about? Who believes this? And I'm glad you're not a preacher because a few curse words slipped out earlier, Vince. Nathan, I want to bring you on, and Vince, you can sound off too. So there was a shooting at you and I have hung out with Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen's a friend of mine. And hardcore Christians get mad at me for liking Joel Osteen and him being a friend of mine. But he isn't for me. He isn't for you. He is for the Jewish guy. He is for the atheist. He's for the Muslim. He's for the person who has not experienced Christianity. That's my opinion. And there are preachers that are teachers. There are preachers that are shepherds. There are preachers that are evangelists. And I think he is, he's not the main course. He isn't the dessert. He is an appetizer. He is an entree. I think a new Christian, you get about a year with Joel Osteen, and then you have to move on to more solid food. What do you think about that, Nathan?
I completely agree. That's his gift. His gift is, to bring encouragement. He's an exhorter of truth. I'm curious to see if his preaching is going to change after this incident. In my opinion, when it comes to scripture and as a pastor, the Bible says we have to preach the whole counsel of God. And I understand his thinking. He's trying to reach, like you said, those outside of the church. But as a pastor, one of the responsibilities, and it records this in the book of Ezekiel, that a sinner, you have to tell them about their sin. Otherwise, their blood will be on your hands. And
so you don't like Joel?
I like him, but I would like to see him get more bold.
Well, you're a hypocrite because you were sure nice to him when we've hung out with him. You sure acted like he was your best buddy.
Well, how's that hypocritical? I'm going to be nice to him.
Well, you didn't say any of this. You didn't try to correct him. This isn't what I expected tonight.
That's not my place to correct him.
But you sure were taking pictures with him and acting like you liked him.
I do like him.
I think you're way out of line.
Well, let me finish my point. Okay.
Joel's job is not a corrector, man. He is. This is the Bible. God loves you. Check it out. And then you learn. We don't start off. You're talking college level stuff for a preschooler, toddler. Man, he is talking to toddlers, brother.
I totally disagree. Okay. The Bible says we have to get back to the simplicity of the gospel. One of them is repentance. That's simple. That's baby food.
He doesn't say that? He
does not talk about repentance. He doesn't bring it up.
I'd like to punch you in the face, preacher.
Hey, I'd block it.
Okay. Hey, Vince, this guy, I'm not kidding you, has a dojo he runs, and he is Bobby Badass. He is like all forms of kung fu. So I am talking smack. I'm kidding him. He knows. But Nathan, honest to God, I am shocked at your statement there. So is Joel bad? Is Joel bad for?
No, I'm not saying that at all. You're saying, you're talking about evangelists, about preachers.
Yeah.
When it comes to the fivefold ministry, the Bible commands us. It's not about Joel. It's not about me. The Bible commands us that we have to preach the full counsel of God.
Okay.
That's part of the mandate.
Is Joel good for the world?
Hey,
dude, I've met a lot of Jewish people and atheists and everything that would never have listened to anything about Jesus from a guy like Vince or me or you.
Okay, well, answer this question.
But Joel has a big smile on his face and encourages them.
Are those Jewish people and those atheists and those Muslims, are they believers now? After meeting Joel, after talking to Joel, are they still the same? Answer that question, and I'll be able to give you a better answer. That's the key. When you bring the gospel, it produces change.
Well, no, okay? This is my show. This is my show. You're not supposed to make me look bad on my show. This is live, and now we can't edit that out.
Making you look good because you're bringing this awesome dialogue. A lot of people aren't talking about this. This is good talk. This is a good conversation.
All right. What about the people on Instagram that attacked me today? Because, I was happy that the shooter was killed. I'm happy when evil folks are when good fights back, when they're trying to burn down a Black Baptist church and they killed a guy or something. I'm okay with that. And that's not very Christian of you, man, Cal. But isn't it Christian to defend yourself, Pastor Nathan?
Absolutely. I give you two quick references. Number one, Jesus told his disciples, when you go out at night, carry a sword. There's thieves and robbers on the way.
Of course.
So you got to be able to protect yourself. People forget, people like to focus on
Would Jesus say carry an AR-15?
Well, and back then, if they had
I love
AR-15s,
I love when people say, "A sword, yes,"
Yeah.
but an AR-15. Well, if they had had an AR-15 in the Garden of Gethsemane, he would have said AR-15.
Yes, protect yourself. I mean, people forget that the revelation of Jesus Christ, the book of it's a revelation of Jesus Christ. He's going to come back as a king, conquering with a sword. And the Bible says that when he attacks, and we're going to come with him, the blood is going to go up to the horse's bridle. It's going to be violent. It's going to be bloody. So Christians are not weak. Turn the other cheek. That's the issue. People say turn the other cheek. They don't understand that's a Hebrew idiom for turn to your strong side. Doesn't literally mean when someone hits me on my cheek, I'm going to let them hit me on the other cheek. It means turn to your strong side.
Vince, I wonder if you even know that. I wonder if people know that, because I've been to Israel and I've stood in Armageddon, right? The valley of Megiddo. And if you think about on earth, and the Bible talks about in the book of Revelation, you think about the final war that's coming, which will involve Russia and China and us. And where is there a big enough space? It's right. And why would we meet in the Middle East? Well, look what's going on right now. Why would everybody go fight in the Middle East? Turn on the news today as we bomb Iran. And you'll figure it out. And I stood there. I stood in the Valley of Megiddo. You can find it online. But turn the other cheek. They told me in Israel, Pastor Nathan. So you get hit, and you go, "Oh, you think you're tough? Okay, now try here." That's how they view it. They don't view it as, "Oh, okay, hit me here too." No, it's it makes me laugh every movie now when a woman gets hit by a guy and she goes, one of these brutes hits a woman, she's done. I love these modern movies. It's so stupid. Girl power, man. But that's the point, right? You get hit and you go, "Okay, now try this, tough guy." It's not a weak position. People always, turn the other cheek. Don't fight back. Christians are not commanded to be led to slaughter.
No, I agree. Christianity is not a suicide cult. This is why Martin Luther King Jr. has such a visceral effect on me. He taught Black people that there was no virtue in defending your families, defending your property, and defending yourself. He told them to go outside and get beaten down, and we lost our manhood behind the civil rights movement. In his "I Have a Dream" speech, he said something that was a lot of things that just wasn't true. Yeah. He said 100 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, the Negro is still not free. That is a lie. I was born free. My freedom is a gift from God. It is an unalienable right. It is irrevocable, non-transferable, and unsellable. But he said 5 times in that speech that we were not free. He said we came to Washington to get our freedom. You don't come to government for your freedom. Your freedom comes from God. You defy government to come try to take your freedom from you. He also said in that speech, he said that he had a dream one day that his 4 little children would not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Well, see, to a Black man like me, that's offensive, because there's nothing wrong with the color of my skin. God made me beautiful. I'm not going to apologize for it. And I'm not going to be running around some white racist asking him not to judge me by it. Walking behind him saying, "Please, sir, don't judge me by the color of my skin." My Bible tells me that I'm not to be concerned about how man views me. My job is to love him. If he hates me, I love him. If he despises me, I love him. If he does me wrong, I do him right. But that doesn't give him license to put his hands on me. So if he has a problem with me, that's his problem. He puts his hands on me, he gonna have another problem. Because if he touches me or mine, I got 2 things to get him off of me. That's Jesus and my 38. You better not try me.
I thought you were going to say Mr. Left and Right. Yeah, I like that. Look, I'm an MLK Jr. fan, Reverend Martin Luther King, because, we got a week of that. It's amazing. I know a little about Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, and even little George Washington Carver, but holy shiznit, Vince, as you know, I got a week, a year, every year of school on Martin Luther King Jr. Jesus didn't hear anything about that. Martin Luther didn't hear anything about that. Einstein, not really. They taught us about Marilyn Monroe, why she was important to pop culture. But I got a week of Martin Luther King Jr. every year.
Now, that's because he told us as citizens to lie down. He told us not to fight back. He said,
three at last, thank God of Almighty.
And he was also telling you that you weren't free.
No, Vince, was he not free? Was he saying 3 at last because he had 3 girlfriends? 3 at last,
no,
thank
he had
God.
45 girlfriends.
He had a lot of girlfriends. And was he a communist, Vince?
Yes, he was a communist. He was a Marxist, yes.
I mean, the files on Martin Luther King Jr. is he was, look, I believe that we should be, my quote that and the reason I love whatever the image I have of the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. is, he says character character matters, and I think we've lost that. Now it's, you're LBGDQ.
Well,
you're
no,
this color.
actually, he said that we weren't judged by our character, and that is a lie. It's inescapable. We're all
about
judged by our character. He gave us a default position that says that we were judged by the color of our skin, which was a lie.
Vince, so the files. I mean, our government was watching this guy because he was a strong Marxist, communist, anti-American, right?
Yes, absolutely. He was recruited by Bayard Rustin, who was a communist in his youth, and Bayard Rustin introduced him to Stanley Levinson, who was the #1 communist in America. Stanley Levinson was hooked up in Moscow, and they bankrolled the whole civil rights movement. As a matter of fact, Stanley Levinson and Clarence Jones and Bayard Rustin, they set up the paperwork for the SELC, Martin Luther King's group and organization. Clarence Jones, who was a communist, and his lawyer, he's still alive today. He had a commercial on the Super Bowl, at the Super Bowl. Clarence Jones and Stanley Levinson wrote the "I Have a Dream" speech. 2 communists wrote that speech. King delivered it, but 2 communists wrote it. And
why did the communists?
Anybody that's listening to me can look that up.
What were the communists? I want to tell you something. Nathan Murray is an African American, but he put on makeup today.
True story.
Anyway, no, true story. Why Vince? Why did they want MLK? Why would the communists use MLK? And what was his purpose in the black community in America? To stir up trouble?
No, they were going to use the black vote to take over the Democrat Party, which is what they did. So Martin Luther King, NAACP, and all of them, they took the black people down south who hadn't voted since Reconstruction. They passed the 1957 Civil Rights Act, 1960 Civil Rights Act. It was passed by Eisenhower and Nixon. Then they registered 5 million to 6 million black people to vote down south. And all those black people, even though the Republican Party gave them the right to vote, they all voted for the Democrat Party because of Stockholm Syndrome. So 80% of the 5 million voted for the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party took, and these Marxists took over the party in 1972, and they've had it ever since. It was a great plan, and it worked.
Vince, I see it in Chicago. And again, I say it, step over your dead children. And excuse my language, Pastor, but your shitty neighborhoods, your violent, shitty neighborhoods, the horrible schools, the worst on earth, horrible teachers union. They do not care. I saw them with their bullhorns. Talk about me cursing. Every word in the book with their bullhorns. And Brandon Johnson was one of those people.
Yeah.
And they will step over their dead kids to vote Democratic. I don't get it. I can't understand it.
They turned the black church, into a wing
I've seen that.
of the Democrat Party, and the black preacher has a lot of influence. So Al Sharpton, you got Jesse Jackson, and all of these black districts are segregated, and there are no white people in them. And the Republican Party, because of the deal that Lee Atwater made with them in 1992, have agreed to not come into those districts as long as the black Democrats vote for their redistricting plans every 10 years. So you got the Republicans and the black Democrats that have made a deal. If you get my book, 25 Lies, I tell you all about it. It's irrefutable.
25 Lies?
Operation Rat, F-U-C-K. And this deal says that if black Democrats and white Republicans get together, they get together every 10 years. They make this redistricting plan, and then they all rule it together.
Vince, did you say 25 Lies?
Yeah, 25 Lies.
Right behind you. That says 25 Lies. What are the chances?
25 Lies. Yes, that's the book. 25 Lies.
There's a poster right behind you.
What's that? Yeah, right there above me. Yeah, right there. 25 Lies. Will you go to hell for me?
Pastor Nathan, you've been in the black churches, a lot of them. You can name all of them, man. Who's the big one? Who's the biggest? What's his name? I love that guy. What?
T.G. Jakes.
Yeah, right? T.G. Jakes. You know all these guys. I know all these guys.
Yeah, you guys know what happened to him, right? Just lately, he's been in the news a lot.
Well, no, I don't know anything about it.
He was.
I read all his books.
He was called it a P. Diddy party. They said that he was getting down in the back with a bunch of homosexuals. That's what they say.
I heard that.
No way.
That's what they say.
Wait. What? Wait. Go to Vince, Nudie. What, Vince? What are you saying?
That T.D. Jakes was caught at a Diddy sex party with a bunch of homosexual men getting down. That's what they say. All you got to do is Google it. It's all online. I wasn't there. I don't know, but a lot of people are saying it. He hang out with Diddy a lot, but a lot of these black preachers are tied up in the hip hop culture now. There was a time when the black church and NAACP would be against all of this mess. Now they are with it. They ain't trying to stop the rappers. They dancing with the rappers. They partying with the rappers. This is a genre of music that calls the black man the N-word, the black woman the B and the W word, misogynistic, talk about shooting police, fighting police, doing dope, all kind of stuff, acting a fool in the street. This is why the black community is in such bad shape. The church has turned apostate with black liberation theology. It's sad in black liberation theology, which is taught in about 80% of black churches now, that Jesus would have identified with black people because they were oppressed and would have hated white people because they were the oppressor. And this is why you say that they will step over a black body to vote for the Democrat Party. They are down there telling black people that Jesus hates the white community. And it is an apostate religion, and they are going crazy down there, and we need to help them out.
I thought I was long-winded, Vince. No, and how could any Jewish person vote for the Democrats? This is madness. It's madness. We're going to show the trailer to his movie here in a second. Mr. Murray, quickly, I don't have Vince Ellison kind of time for you. Tell me quickly your thoughts on what he's saying.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I mean, black liberation theology. Remember Reverend Wright with Barack Obama? That was his main thinking too. That's what he was under, was that black liberation theology. I just think it's part of the signs of the last days. You know, Jesus said the number one sign in the last days is deception.
Get your house ready, folks. Get your folks ready. Get your house ready, folks. Get your house ready. Start praying. Give it up. Give it up. Pick a side. Now is the time for picking sides. And I spent time with Barack Obama, private time, as you know, Nathan, me and him, and he ain't no Christian.
Nope.
Trust me. How much time do we have, Nathan? Give me the exact time, because I got to get ready for the rapture. How many days do I got?
Any day. We don't know the day or the hour. Be ready. Remember, prepare like he's coming tomorrow, or act,
That's right.
Live like he's coming tomorrow. Prepare like he's not coming back.
Nathan, do you have a favorite? You spent a lot of time with me, prophesizing and preaching and traveling America, the back roads, the in roads, the by roads. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm just rambling here. But do you have a favorite memory? Do you have a favorite man-cow memory?
So I have to say,
I mean, you've been my counsel since 1994.
When we were in the studio with one of the Kennedys, I think, nephew, and we had that dolphin. Do you remember that dolphin?
Oh yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? That dolphin?
No, I'm just. We did have a woman on our show once that had physical relations with a dolphin. She would go to, I don't know, Puerto Vallarta or somewhere where they had a deal where you could swim with the dolphins. And she had a sexual encounter with a dolphin, and she fell in love with the dolphin. They would turn the other way, and she said she was spiritually with this dolphin, and she tells us a story. It was good times.
I do have one quick memory, though.
You what?
I have one quick memory about with Joel Osteen and you.
Yeah.
When it was Joel Osteen, Pastor Greg Ditkow, Pastor Steve Muncie,
Steve Muncie, yes.
Yeah, and we were backstage at the Sox Stadium, whatever it's called now, and you said, "Guys, this is amazing. My Ouija board just told me about that this was going to happen." And the looks on their faces of utter horror. They didn't know what to say. And you're like, guys, it's a joke. That was hilarious.
Yeah. No, I said, my Ouija board predicted this would happen. They all went. You knew who else was back there? Do you remember we were for a while with Vince Vaughn and Peter Billingsley, the kid from Christmas Story.
That's right.
Look, I love Joel, and I don't know. I'm sorry there was a shooting at his church today. Vince, I'm telling you, I'm a big fan. This is the first time you've been on the show. You'll be back. I just love you. You're great. And,
hey, man, I appreciate you. I've been watching you for decades, and you are awesome. I've always enjoyed you. God bless you. Thank you for the invitation.
Like I said, a very smart man with really discriminating taste. Vince, I'm going to declare it now. Love you. Nathan, not so much. Not so much. Not really an A guest. Vince, an A guest. Nathan, B or C. B or C.
B plus.
Nudie, anything else to show? Any other clips? Let's get it out of the way.
Do you still want the Ellen clip?
Yeah, but do I have any other slides?
We don't have any other slides. We got to talk about Ellen and her skincare regimen. This is interesting.
Put the Ellen clip up. Thank you, Ralph. I don't need your commentary. I've got Vince and Nathan for that. Go ahead. Show the Ellen. Go ahead. Let it roll. Where they talk
let's
about.
Let's talk about this facial.
Okay,
that
check
you're
this out.
Facial. How many did you get the whole cast of Ocean's 8 to do
Not
this?
everybody.
Okay, good, smart ones.
Just those that I thought would appreciate it.
Okay, explain what it is.
Her facial regime.
Well, it's this way in which one forces through microneedling.
She doesn't want to
like
say.
A roller with these. Some of you, I think many of you know it. And it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen, and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes. The
what are you pushing into the skin, Sandra?
Sarah?
What are you pushing into it? What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
Yeah.
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person.
Yeah. Skin from young people.
And they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
Okay, Ralph, put us on. So it's not foreskin from a Korean baby. And we've heard these stories about things that are going on. I have my take on it, but it's beyond vile. And you hear about endochrome and all these things. She is telling you that in Hollywood, they take baby's skin and they inject it all in their skin to stay young. And I remember many years ago sitting next to David Bowie. His skin was flawless. He had just left Germany where it was legal. It was illegal everywhere else. And he said, don't say it on the radio. And I did. But he said he was having aborted fetuses' cells injected into his face.
Yeah.
This is David Bowie. I'm a David Bowie fan. But I wonder, I'm not saying they're doing this, but I wonder if they're also pro-abortion. And Vince was talking about, abortions at 8 and 9 months. I mean, that is murder to me. It's murder. I don't have to say to me. It's for all of you, isn't it? There's big money in these abortions. Is that why Hollywood is so far behind it, Vince? Do you think?
Yeah.
Because they need.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they were using aborted fetuses for the COVID vaccines. Also, they take these aborted fetuses and they sell them to the pharmaceutical industry. They make makeup with it. They do all kind of stuff with it, and this is why they do it. They need the fetuses. They will give the woman the abortion for free to get the fetuses. That's where they make their money. 10, 20,000. 40, 50, tens of thousands of dollars for an aborted fetus because they get so much money doing stuff like this. And it's a hidden secret, but if you research it, you'll find out that it's absolutely positively correct.
You know what? I think, I don't know. My wife does something to look real young. She looks like a duck. Oh, yeah, she uses ponds. There she is, the chosen one at Tiki Terrace. What a cheeseball show. But we had a fun night that night. You get the joke? That's an old Benny Hill joke. My wife, she looks like a duck. She uses ponds. Ponds used to be a face cream. Whatever. Okay, they can't all be winners. So the abortions are big money. I was at Jewel a week ago. $10 gift certificate and a free shot. Get your booster for free and $10. And I thought, well, who would do that? And then you think, well, a woman with kids. She's barely getting by. She's in the store. No, we can't get Pop-Tarts, kids. No, we can't get soda. We don't have any money. And well, if I get a shot and you two kids get shots, that's $30 worth of goodies. Give me the shot. And really, to me, insidious. I want to roll Vince's. Nathan, I love you. You're a friend of mine. I'm kidding you, right?
Of course.
Family's good?
Everybody's good. Thank you.
That's great.
Family's
That's good to hear.
awesome.
Your mom's good? Okay, nice. Okay, Vince, Vince, thank you. And I'll end the show with the trailer. And again, last week, yes, that was very real. The shocking everything. Nothing happened this week. Thank God. Let's roll this trailer and good night, everybody. And God bless and keep me in your prayers and I'll keep you in my prayers. Let's roll.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you, man. God bless.
You too.
Go ahead and roll it, Ralph.
The Democratic Party is the evilest organization in the history of the world. Since their inception in 1800, they've been the party of slavery. Then, after slavery, they became the party of the Confederacy. After that, They started killing black people during Jim Crow era. You're voting for a party that tells you they are going to abort children up to the 9th month, castrate little boys, and call them little girls, mutilate little girls and cut off their breasts and give them puberty blockers. But you don't think you're going to be held responsible? As we look at the Democratic Party and the chaos that they've reigned on our community, our young men, our young women, I have to ask you to look at what they've done to us. Look at what they've done to us. Look at what they've done to us. The Democratic Party is a death machine. Wherever they rule, they destroy. That's what they do. They destroy. They decided to try to infiltrate the black community, and they didn't have any success until they met somebody. Who did they meet? Martin Luther King. And this is where we went wrong. He made sure that he brought the black vote to the Democrat Party. They used the black vote to commandeer the most powerful country in the world. He who the Son has freed is free indeed. Once you accept him, you are free. Anybody in the Democratic Party that tells you any different, he's a liar, he's an apostate, he's the front to God, and he should be rejected by any Christian walking on this earth. And he's inviting you to go to hell with him. Don't go with him. Don't go.